Hello friends, welcome in the online lecture series of physical chemistry. We are learning about the chemical kinetics. In chemical kinetics, the most important reaction that we have to study right now is the simultaneous reactions. These simultaneous reactions are also called as complex reactions. Simultaneous reactions, or these are also called as complex reactions. The reactions, these are the reactions which are accompanying the main chemical reactions. We know that we are studying any reaction which is the main chemical reaction, but there are also certain side products are obtained, and these side reactions or these reactions which are occurring parallel to the main chemical reaction, and these reactions are called as complex reactions. So complex reactions are the reactions which are accompanying the main chemical reactions. These are complex reactions. Generally, the complex reactions are divided into three parts. Complex reactions are of three types. Generally, they are of three types. First is a consecutive reaction. Consecutive reactions, or these are also called as sequential reactions. Consecutive reactions or sequential reactions. Second type is a parallel reactions. They are parallel reactions. And third type is a reversible, or they may be called opposing reaction. So these are three types. So we are learning about the simultaneous reactions, complex reactions. These are the reactions which are accompanying the main chemical reaction. The main chemical reactions is associated with certain side reactions, and these reactions are simultaneous reactions or complex reactions. Here first type, the complex reactions are divided into three types: consecutive reactions, or these are called as sequential reactions. Second is a parallel reactions, or third type is a reversible or opposing reactions. So we are going to see here one by one. So first we are going to see here the consecutive reactions. So generally, consecutive reactions are the reactions in which final product is obtained through one or more intermediate steps, or one or more intermediate final product obtained through one or more intermediate. So in this reaction, generally what is our observation here? In this reaction there is an intermediate step. So these reactions are generally not took place in a single step. These are not elementary, but every step is elementary, but not the total reaction is not an elementary step. The reactions occurs in a parts. So first step, second step, third step. So the reactions, the final product we obtain through one or more intermediate steps. So the such type of reactions are called as consecutive reactions or sequential reactions. So one or more intermediate may be involved in these reactions while obtaining final product. So such type of reactions are called as consecutive reactions. So generally, what are consecutive reactions? Consecutive reactions are the reactions in which final product is obtained through one or more intermediates. So generally, take an example. Generally consider this reaction: A is converted into B, and now B again converted into C. So what happens in consecutive reactions? A is converted into B. Here A is the reactant and rate constant is K1. Different rates for these two reactions. So when reactant A is converted into product B is the first step. Now B is again converted into C. So B is the reactant or starting material for the formation of final product C. So C is the final product, but here B to C conversion is governed by the rate constant K2. So A is converted into B, B is converted into C. So final product is C, which is obtained through one intermediate step. There may be one or more there may be more intermediate step, but we have taken here only one intermediate. So A is converted into C via B. So such type of reactions are called as consecutive reactions. Now in these reactions, if we see the initial concentration, initially only a reactant is present. Initially the concentration of A, this is initial concentration of the reactant. Initially there is no formation of B, initially no present. After some time the reaction occurs and there will be formation of B, then formation of C. So initial concentration is 0 for B, and also initial concentration for C, product C, is 0. The concentration after time t, concentration after time t, after time t the concentration is A. So the concentration of this reactant molecule changes to A. There is some product formation B, and from B again there is some product formation of C. So there is there will be some concentration of C here, the concentration of B formed, and concentration of A changes to concentration of A. So generally the A is converted into B, B is converted into C, and this is the concentration after time t. When the reaction proceeds, this is the concentration after time t. So in this reaction, it is clear from this reaction, it is clear that the initial concentration is what? All the product B and C are formed from A, initial concentration of reactant. So initial concentration of reactant is the summation of concentration of A after time t, B after time t, and concentration of C after time t. So these are this is the initial concentration, is the summation of concentration of A, B and C at time t. So generally this equation obtained. So in differential form the equation can be written as differential equation for these reaction we can write. So differential equation for these reactions, so for A we can write minus dA by dt. Minus dA by dt is the rate of the reactant A, so that is equal to K1 into A. Concentration of A at time t is the rate. Now the concentration of B, now here interesting fact is that the concentration of B is what? There is a rate of change of concentration of A. Concentration of A, we know that reactant is converted into product, so here is decrease in concentration of A is the formation of concentration of B. We know that rate decrease in concentration of reactant or increase in concentration of product is the rate of reaction. So here rate of reaction is the K1 into A is the rate of reaction of B. But at the same time what happened, the B some B formed may be converted into product C, because this is simultaneous reaction. Here A is converted into B and this is the reactant molecule for next step. This intermediate is the reactant molecule for the next step, so that's why it may be converted into B. So minus K2 into B. So this is the rate of formation of B. Rate of formation of B is not only from A to B, but the conversion from B to C, because it's decreasing. There is concentration of B decreasing here due to the formation of product C, and concentration of A decreases and product B form. So concentration of A here and B decreases, concentration of B decreases K2 B, and the rate of formation of product C, rate of formation of product C, dC by dt is equal to here K2, here K2 into the concentration of B, because the wholly the concentration of C, that is product formation, depends on the concentration of B only. Here how much B formed, or what is the concentration of B which required here for the formation of product C. So generally what we have seen right now, the consecutive reactions are the reactions in which final product is formed through one or more intermediate step. Suppose that we have taken example, A is converted to B, B is converted to C. So K1 and K2, these are the two rate constant. So what is K1 here? K1 is the rate constant for conversion A to B, and what is K2? K2 is the rate constant for conversion B to C. So these are two different rate constant, and overall rate constant depends on these K1 and K2. So overall rate constant of the reaction depends on the magnitude of these constant, depends on magnitude of K1 and K2, on magnitude of K1 and K2. So overall rate is dependent on K1 and K2. So final product formed through intermediate B. So initial concentration is A 0 0 0, and here after time t, A, B and C is the concentration. So differential equation for these reactions we can write minus dA by dt is the rate for decrease in concentration of reactant A, which is equal to formation of product A, K1 into A. The rate of formation of B is the rate of formation rate of decrease in concentration of A, K1A, minus decrease in concentration of B. Concentration of B simultaneously decreases because there is formation of product C. So K2 minus K2 into B, and rate of formation of product C, dC by dt, equal to the concentration of B, proportional to concentration of B. It depends on the concentration of B. So this is the rate of reaction for this. Now if we see the graphical representation of concentration of reactant versus time, because as the time passes, the concentration of A, B and C changes. As time passes, as time goes, the concentration of A, B and C changes, which is shown in the graphical representation. Here the concentration drawn on y-axis and the time here written on x-axis. Now in this case, if we see the concentration of A, initially the concentration of A is high, as we know that the reactant A, is A. So initially the concentration of reactant is high, we know that there is no product formation initially. So concentration of A initially high, and as the time goes, the A is converted into B. So the concentration of A start decreasing, and it's continuously decreasing in a exponential manner. So A goes on decreasing because from A there is formation of B. Okay, what about B? Initial the concentration of B is 0. Initially the concentration of B is 0. So it is initial concentration of A is what? A0. It goes on decreasing as the time passes, as the time goes forward, the concentration of A decreases. Now what about concentration of B? Initially the concentration of B is 0. And initially from when A is converted into B, there is increase in concentration of B initially, but at the same time what happen? The B gets converted into C. So when B gets converted into C, its concentration start decreasing. Concentration of B start decreasing. So this is the graphical representation where the initial concentration of B start rising for some time, and then after it decreases. What about concentration of C? Initially the concentration of C is 0, and as the concentration of B increases in the reaction, the concentration of C starts increasing. So concentration of C increases, and it increases in the same way and reaches to concentration of A when all A is converted to C, when all A is converted to C. So this figure shows that the consecutive reaction in which rate of reactant and product shown, the concentration of consecutive reaction in which concentration of reactant and product is shown, here in this case. So what is our observation from this? Our observation from this is that concentration of A decreases exponentially because it's decreasing and not increases at any moment, because it decreases constantly because product B formed from this, intermediate B formed from this. What about B? B initially increases as it formed from A, initially increases, but as sufficient concentration of B gathered there, then that B start converting into C. So initially increases, concentration of B initially increases and then decreases after some time, then decreases, and it continuously decreases. What about concentration of C? The concentration of C increases from 0, the concentration of C increases from 0 and reaches to which concentration? Reaches to initial concentration of reactant A. When this condition occur? When all A gets converted into C. When all A gets converted into C through intermediate B, the concentration of C becomes equal to initial concentration, because all reactant molecules gets converted into product. The same condition is here, where increases C, concentration of C increases from 0 and reaches to concentration of A when all A gets converted into C via intermediate B. So this is about consecutive reaction. So let's see some examples of the consecutive reactions. There are certain examples we have to see here for the consecutive reactions. Examples of consecutive reactions in which one or more intermediate is involved. Examples of consecutive reaction. Examples of consecutive reactions. So see first example, the decomposition of dimethyl ether. Decomposition of dimethyl ether. So decomposition of dimethyl ether. So this is dimethyl ether, CH3O CH3. So this reaction involves first step with rate constant K1. It involves first step. In the first step, it is converted into CH4 plus HCHO. So first step. This is not the final decomposition. Decomposition product is now again there is formation of methane, but here HCHO, formaldehyde is there, which again decomposes in the second step with rate constant K2, and it converted into H2 plus carbon monoxide. So this is fine, CH4, H2 and CO. These are the product formed in the reaction. So these are final product formed in the reaction, and these final product through this intermediate. So this is two-step reaction. Each step is elementary step, but the final product via intermediate B. So this reaction is the type of consecutive reaction. So decomposition of dimethyl ether is an example of the consecutive reaction. See second example, the decomposition of ethylene oxide. Decomposition of ethylene oxide is an example of the consecutive reaction. Decomposition